Welcome, everyone, to the Set List of Life with the former bandmates of Dolly Pursue. We have the whole band here tonight. We have Aaron on guitar.
Hello, hello.
Christine on drums.
Hello.
Kirsten on the keyboard.
Hello.
And I'm Leslie, your vocalist for this evening. Tonight, our podcast is going to be based on the song Still Into You by Paramore, because right before we put our headphones on, we were discussing some bad dating stories that we have. And actually, it's funny because I just got buzzed on my phone from someone named Mia that says, "Hello, are you John? I'm not sure if I remembered the number wrong."
You're kidding.
Mia, I am not John. Well, see, because I'm thinking this sounds like maybe a hookup type thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I do feel bad. And unlike Christine, I will respond to Mia. Christine doesn't like to respond to missed texts. But I'm going to respond to Mia and say, "Sorry, Mia, this is not John."
Oh, no, I do that.
You do that?
Oh, no,
It was just the car one you were
do
against?
That. Yeah, that one was weird.
Car one,
the car one was because they were trying to like hook me into buying a car.
Oh, right. That's right.
No, if they accidentally are looking, Aunt Becky was looking for somebody to bring. No, it wasn't Aunt Becky, but somebody was looking for us to bring the birthday cake for Aunt Becky's
So in your
party.
answer, that was
So I
important.
let them know that we were in fact not coming to Aunt Becky's birthday. But what I should have
'Cause
said
we
is,
don't
"Hey,
know
what's
Aunt
the
Becky."
address?"
Yes.
We'll be bringing the cake.
I'm bringing you a cake. So,
No,
yeah, so
I would
Mia,
definitely answer.
I'm sure Mia's not listening, but I will respond to her. And
You
let
never
her
know.
that
She
I
could
am
be
not
listening.
John.
I would have fun with this.
Well, I know you would. See, now you and Chris both.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, you guys like to. Chris loves when telemarketers call. He loves to talk to telemarketers.
What does he say?
And oh God, all kinds of crazy stuff. And like sometimes he acts like he's a crazy person. Sometimes he just is like, "How's the weather?" Like he just, it's stuff. And
What
it's
are you
usually
wearing?
in the background? And I'm trying to do something, and I'm just rolling my eyes. But he loves to.
It's entertainment.
It is. It's entertainment.
Otherwise, I mean,
It's probably the only people that talk back to them all day.
Well, and that's the other thing. But at least, I don't know. It's mocking, so I'm not sure it's taken well. Eventually, a lot of people just hang up on him.
Oh, that's
and he'll say like, "He hung up on me," and I'm like, "So surprising that person hung up on you."
It's kind of nice that they get to do that instead of being hung up on.
Yeah, it probably
there you
feels
go.
good.
Or he'll get into some argument, like especially if it's a political one, like not a mean argument, but he'll just. These people aren't trained to deal with him.
I've got a script that I'm supposed to be following. You're taking me off the script.
Yeah, right. I don't know what to
He
do.
starts engaging them in their opinions, and they're like, "No, I don't have opinions. I just have a bad job." So, yes.
Oh my God,
So
that's
funny.
hysterical. You should be part of the training.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Actually, that would be good.
Yeah, like a heckling kind
That
of
would be
like
a great retirement job, right? Like just to be the heckler for
Telemarketer
telemarketers.
telemarketer heckler training.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
a great
Hysterical.
idea.
So he must have been a good first date.
You know what? Honestly, yes. Actually, our first date, I didn't realize was supposed to be a date because he had asked me to a group thing. So I just thought it was being invited into a group, not to like a date thing. And then I couldn't go to that. And then he asked me out on a date. So, but especially after the string of bad dates.
Oh my gosh, this guy's sane.
Why were they so bad? How
Not even
bad were
joking.
they?
Right,
Like
yeah.
I
Like-
actually said to him, "You are the most normal person I've been on a date with in like forever."
Right.
And he had the same feeling, but I mean, normal in the sense that neither of us are normal.
Right.
But our normalness was similar, or so
Abnormalness.
Right.
yes. And so, but I have had many a bad date. And a lot of times too, like we were talking about, like people just come on really, really strong, and I don't know how to. I mean, even now with just regular people, when people come on really, really strong to me, I don't know how to say back off.
Boundaries.
Like I wish I
Yeah.
was that
How to set
person
those
that was just
boundaries.
like,
Yeah.
It's
No,
very
so-
hard for me.
Yeah, you don't want to be rude, but it's weird. And also you don't really know where they're coming from.
right.
Well, that's a good
Yeah.
point too. But setting those boundaries is tough.
Yeah.
I think when I meet somebody like that, I have a tendency to not say anything at all and say as little as I can, because after the whole thing is done, I know that I'm never going to meet this person again. So I'll interact as much as I have to, but just kind of being like, yeah, you just, you do you, because you're doing it. And I'm just going to wait till you're done. And then this will all be over and
Mosey
then
along.
we'll go on our way.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny because I've had a lot of people in my life that I just wasn't paying attention. And it was sort of like it wasn't so much that they liked me as a person, but they liked who I was and wanted to be in that spot. You know what I'm saying? And so I would let these people in, and then I couldn't, then you realize like, oh no, like you shouldn't be in my vicinity. And by that time it was way too
They're
late.
established.
So it was funny. We were talking, JJ had a friend over the other day, and he was stealing all the snacks out of the pantry, like just going in.
We have a few of those.
We
friends.
have
hate
a
that.
rule in my house. If you want a snack, I'm happy to get you a snack, but you
Right.
have to ask me. For
Right.
a
Yeah,
snack.
you
Right.
can't just go rifling through my pantry.
Yeah.
That's right.
That-
we
that drives
know
me
those
insane.
kids.
Nor
right?
should
Yes.
you eat every last chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, yeah.
and
You'll,
fruit snack
you'll walk
package.
up in there doing it, and you're like, what are you doing?
They're looking in your fridge.
And this kid
and
was like in the pantry, in the fridge, like.
Yeah.
And after I
Like, you got
said,
anything
"Hey,
good?"
hey, you can't do that."
Yeah,
And he was like,
I'm-
"Oh, okay." And then he ran out of the room, and then like I'd catch him sneaking back in, and I'm like, "Did they not feed you?"
Right.
Like, what
Right.
is the deal? So and it was funny because after the kid left, Ava goes and she was just observing this, like she, I didn't bring the subject up, but she could tell I was perturbed, and Ava goes, "You have to dump him." and as a friend, and JJ's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Dude, he's a snack stealer. Snack stealers." That will go nowhere. All you do is lose, especially your
so
sour
funny.
cream and onion Pringles. Like it was just that I was like, "Good for
Snack
you, girl.
stealer.
At least
Yeah.
you're aware. You're
Yeah.
more aware than your
Yeah.
mom."
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
She knows her worth.
You got to dump them.
Don't
We
get
had
involved with the
so
snack
we got the
stealers.
bad play date. One of my kids had a friend over, and they were down in the basement, and I thought everything was fine. And the kid crawled up, like we had these paintball guns that were in a box at the top of the closet, like of a 9-foot ceiling.
Geez.
Yeah, and I came downstairs, and he had them all over the basement.
Oh,
and I was like, those. I mean, they were in the top. Like my kids didn't
Where
even
was
know the
Case
room.
at the time?
He was down there. He didn't, and he's like, I'm like, why didn't you stop him? He's like, I didn't know. I didn't know how to stop him.
That's
But-
what? It's funny you say that because there's been many times I go down to the basement and things were just thoroughly disassembled. Like
Yeah.
we had a drum kit down there, and it wasn't like an adult drum kit. It was like a
Yeah,
Right.
but still,
and
but you
I'd
don't
come down to the
disassemble it.
basement and it would be in pieces all over the floor. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, who the heck is taking this apart?
Right.
And
And
why?
why?
And why do you go to someone's house and take stuff apart?
What is
well,
the
that's what
purpose
this. I
behind
was like,
this?
I was so taken aback, but I couldn't believe I had to explain. Yeah, you can't rifle through my closet and get stuff off the top shelf. Like if it's on the top shelf, it's there for a reason,
Right.
But yeah,
how
but,
would he
it's a boundary issue.
Yeah. Why would he even have known they were up there, though?
I think he could see the box that said paintball
Curiosity.
gun,
Box is there.
but yeah, but it was like, okay, yeah, that's yeah.
I'm not in my house where somebody can't tell me
Yeah.
don't do that, where I know the rules.
Yeah.
I'm in a new environment. Hey,
hey.
that's something I want to know.
Right.
But I feel
right.
like
I'm gonna
just
go up there
stay
and
out
get
of the
it.
closets, and where it's top shelf of the closet because there's tons of toys. There's there's video games. There's plenty to do, but
No.
no. Yeah,
All right.
Well,
So that's worse than the snacks.
Aurora
Yeah.
had a play. Aurora had a play date, and it was a boy who came over, and she wanted to play with him. But as soon as he found out that there was a PlayStation
I was going to say,
downstairs,
you do have a PS. There you go.
he kept on coming downstairs, and I'm like,
yeah.
no,
No, go back up there.
This is not
You're-
Daddy's play date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're here to play with Aurora, so off
Yeah.
you go. And he kept on coming back down. And I'm like, this is not going to happen. Sorry. So Camden was playing PlayStation, so I made him turn it off, and I was like, okay.
Oh, poor Cam.
Well, I mean, yeah, I went and played with
Oh,
him,
so
yeah.
there was,
but yeah,
so there's a reason for it to come down.
Suffer for his sister's
right.
bad relationships
It's like,
already.
Yeah.
It starts young, people.
It does. It starts young.
Gotta.
And those are the boys who post on their Match profile pictures of all of their toys, including their motorcycles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying before we got on, that men over the age of 50 should know not to post pictures of their motorcycles because it is not attractive to most women.
Please stop.
right. I don't care about your well, maybe they're looking for a very specific person.
Yeah,
Someone who
the
cares a
50-year-old
lot
guy
about-
who cares about a motorcycle too and would be impressed with it. I'm not impressed with your motorcycle.
Give me my buddy.
Not impressive.
That would be an interesting concept of having a match site, not for
For friends.
dating,
Oh,
but
Buddies.
right.
Oh, there
Yeah.
are those. There are
there?
like,
Are
like
there?
There
singles
are?
adventures and stuff like that where if you're just in town to meet friends, like they do have things like
Oh.
that. My social calendar.
oh, is that what that is?
I've never heard,
of
that.
it.
I have never
Yes,
even heard
again,
of it.
because you don't
That's
need to pay attention, whereas those of us over here who are too old really to do that because those are 20s and 30-year-olds and they don't want grandma on the trip. But yeah, there's stuff like that. Like you're new to town and you don't know anybody. Here's a chance to meet some people that are like-minded.
Oh, okay.
So, go on a hiking adventure and meet those people or whatever. So there's definitely
See, I would think
friend
you would have a
sites.
better chance of meeting somebody
Right.
in a situation like that rather
Well,
than going on Match.com.
So
and
Match
going-
has those things too, right? Like
They do?
There's like a culinary night coming up where you can make macarons with people. I don't cook, so that's not going to
People
happen
like-
for me.
right, that's not
there was
gonna
an
make
axe
macarons.
throwing
Yeah, but
night,
that's-
which really is not the place I want to meet a guy because I
Well,
don't want somebody. who's
my
good at
point though is
throwing
that
things.
even still, there's still a label on that in terms of like, I'm going to Match.com and I'm going to an event where I know there's already this notion that
People are
I'm
here
going
to-
into it looking
Hoping-
for
Yeah,
somebody.
But isn't
hoping
that
to
when
meet
you were
someone.
younger? Isn't that what like fraternity parties were and the bar
Yeah.
scene was? I mean, that's all that is anyway. It's
That's
just
true.
this is like more
Organized.
yeah, structured,
Right.
Yeah.
and
Right.
you're paying for it.
Right.
But like, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. And
But I guess there's a fallback that even if you're not interested, you
Right,
can still
you can
learn
have
to make
fun.
macaroons.
yeah,
And as we've discussed, just because you might have the same interest does not mean that these people are for
True.
you.
Oh, that's
Because I
true.
remember when I was single in my late 20s in Philadelphia and I had a dog and I would go to the dog park and I would meet all kinds of people at the dog park. And 99% of those people were not for me.
yes.
Right.
Well, exactly.
But we had dogs.
Yeah. And you talk someone to talk about dogs
Someone to
with.
talk to at the while your dog ran around with the other dogs, but like, yeah, and they would have, and I remember them, group of people, and good for them if they found a group. I'm not trying to diss the group of people. I just, sometimes you
Yeah.
if you go with that expectation that you're going to meet somebody
Right. That's
because you have this one interest,
right.
it
Yeah.
sort of can be overly
No, but
disappointing.
that's where like a thing like, a day hiking is
Yeah.
good because like most people like to be outside. So that doesn't
Right.
have to be.
It's
your-
not so specific.
It's
Right.
broader.
Right.
And,
And then
it's-
you can,
and it's
like-
enjoyable even if you don't.
Right.
If you're not a big
Yeah.
hiker.
Or even if you just don't connect with those people, it's still like a nice
You
day
had a nice day
outside.
out.
Yeah. It's not like a total waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard at 50 there's just no other ways to meet people because when you live in a community like we do, most of the people are married. So
Right.
that's where Match comes into play and is helpful. And I will say, with the exception of one crazy, all of the guys I've met
you
have
know who
been,
you are.
I'm sure he's not listening. And if he is, he does know who he is. But they've all been very, very nice people. Like I've had very great experiences. But there's a problem too with the whole way that that's set up because I think you get used to shopping, right? And it's not like you're looking for different pairs of shoes where you can be like, well, I don't want this pair anymore. I want this pair. But a lot of people will start thinking, well, there's something better. Well, there's something else better. So like you're kind of set up for like, well, there's 100 people out there instead of, I don't know. It's just not organic enough. So there's problems with all of it. But, and then there's also those people who are I said this before, so desperate to be in a relationship that that's what they want. And they don't actually recognize the person that they're with. It's
Right.
that, you know, so like the guy who told me he was in love after 2 hours. Like, you're just not.
She's very charming, but
I don't know.
I don't think we got to know you well
It was
enough.
meant to be, Christine.
Except that it wasn't, because I still don't know his last name.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So
What are names? We don't need names.
It's true.
When
And you are lovable.
thank you. I am lovable, but not that lovable. I know how great I am. I'm not that great.
she's very great, but not after.
Not after 2 hours.
When one of my kids, when he was in third grade, he was at the bus stop, and the fourth grade girls yelled over, "Hey, kid with the red shoes, we love you."
Oh.
It's like the adult version of that. And I said, they don't even know your name. They don't really love you.
But they do love your red shoes.
Yeah, they just think you're cute in your red shoes.
Well, that's really kind of cute. Though.
yeah.
Well, I
But-
do think there's something to be said for, like, you can be attracted
Yeah.
and you can have that connection right away.
But you're not in
But
love.
you're not in
'cause
love.
You don't know.
And then when he wanted to go out a second time, and I was like, "You think this is a bit much?" He said, "You're just scared because you felt it too." I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
No, I didn't feel it at all.
So yeah, there are those moments of, like, you know, or like you see each other 3 times in 1 week, and all of a sudden it has to be like a relationship. No, it doesn't. Like, that just doesn't work that way. So I think there's a lot of that. I'm 50 and I'm ready for this to happen, and it doesn't matter who it happens with, as long as you are normal.
Right. Yeah.
So
You seem good.
yeah, I think you're okay. You have a job. You've raised some kids.
There's some
yeah.
good things on the, but you know,
So,
well, you know, and I
it's-
remember, but even like, again, when I was in my late 20s, and it seemed like everybody was married or getting married, and I wasn't even in a relationship, and I would go on these dates because I was trying to be open-minded. So pretty much, if you asked me on a date, I'd say yeah, because
Right.
I'm
I was like that. I was
know.
like that around that age too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, well, I was like, I didn't have a very good job. I didn't make a lot of money. So I was like,
You went to
free meal, make a new friend, have a nice meal. Like, I was
Right.
like a free food dater. I got it.
You know, and there would be people, like, I remember one guy, and he was a lovely man. I just, you know, there was nothing clicking at all. And then he pulled out a pen out of his jacket, and it was like, it was a Penn State pen. And it had clearly been in the bottom of his pen pile. And he didn't even know where he got the Penn State pen, but because I had gone to Penn State,
He gave you your.
he was giving it to me, and I was like, we're really not connecting, are we? Like, this is,
I don't think we're at the pen level
really,
yet.
yeah, this is really, that's
You're giving me.
I don't think we're ready for the pen
Is this
stage.
a promise pen?
This is a, yeah,
and I was
engagement
just
pen.
like, yeah,
I usually don't accept pens on the first date.
we're clearly not, we're not
clicking.
clicking.
Not pen
here.
worthy.
This is not.
That's funny.
Wait, the pen wasn't clicking?
Yeah, I knew that was coming. As soon as I said that, I was like,
Where's the? But then there are like I said, like, everybody I met was really nice, and I met this one wonderful gentleman, Dennis, if you're out there, who, like, on our first date, because it was during COVID, we went to Starbucks, but Starbucks was like, you had to have your coffee outside,
Okay.
which is fine, except it was really cold and really windy. It was February. And I don't think I'd worn makeup all leading up to that
yeah.
point. And
Yeah.
so the
COVID is
mascara
not
I had was
makeup.
not my waterproof mascara. And I must have been, like, wiping the, like, cold out of my eyes. And we had this lovely date. We
No,
were
you have no
talking.
idea.
I got in the car.
oh
And I looked like a
Insane.
raccoon had, like,
Oh, that's
fought me. Like, there was
hilarious.
Oh, that's hilarious.
mascara all over my face. And he called me and asked me for a second date. And I was like,
wow.
that is it,
Dennis.
Wow.
You're a man.
All right.
And he was very funny. He just said he just thought that was the look I was trying to achieve.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, that's not.
that was
But thank you.
Wow, the raccoon look.
so
it was
funny.
it was bad. I mean, it was worse. It was bad. Like it was as bad as you can imagine. I just looked at myself and I was like, oh my good Lord.
And he didn't say anything.
Well, and here I'm thinking, I look pretty good today.
Oh no.
Anyway, we had a lovely few dates and he's a lovely, lovely man, but it just wasn't the right connection for us. But he's lovely. So if there's a woman out there who's looking for a man who doesn't just look at what you look like and he sees who you are,
Dennis is
my
the man.
vote is, well, I always wish you could like go back to their match profiles and rate them, which would be
Yeah.
terrible because I wouldn't want to be rated. But like,
Right.
like
very
I really don't think you should do it.
No,
I
you
really
shouldn't.
don't say you should do it. But
like your Uber driver.
but if there's like good dates, like I'd love to say like most of these
No,
men I went out
I
with
see what you're saying.
are
Yeah.
great guys, just not great for me.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I would happily set them up with somebody I know. Like not a bad
Yeah.
rating. You
Yeah.
shouldn't give somebody
No,
a bad
no.
rating.
Like
unless they
an
do
Amazon
something
review.
Right. Yeah. Like,
but only good reviews.
right. Yeah. No,
Right?
because you don't want
Right.
to trash
Had
anybody.
these qualities.
Yeah.
Right.
This guy would be great for somebody who wants this, who really likes wineries and walks on the beach, which isn't me.
Right.
There you go. This is your man.
Did you ever get fixed up so I had one time where my now sister-in-law, for what, again, it was like this time in my life where everybody kind of felt bad for me because I didn't have somebody. So they were just fixing me up with people just because they were also single. Like, with
Right.
no,
Yeah. With no
thought
rhyme or
put into
reason.
it
Well,
whatsoever.
Yeah. They're single.
And we used to go, there was a bar that my brother and my now sister-in-law would go to do trivia night. And apparently they really enjoyed the bartender. He was a great guy, and I'm sure he was. And so she decided she was going to fix us up, and she let him know that she was bringing me as a setup, and she let me know that I was coming as
So is
a
that
setup.
really awkward?
So we were both sort of like and like introduced,
That's
and
weird.
neither of us were immediately neither of us were like into each other at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
It's
just
just weird. It's just weird.
So it was the most awkward
Oh, that
evening.
sounds terrible.
We're just trying to be polite and nice
Yeah.
and not but neither of us were
Well, at least neither of you felt that.
right.
Because I have been set up where like,
The other person was all in.
yeah, and I wasn't. And then it's really hard because generally, like twice this has happened where they were actually really good friends with my friends.
Oh, yeah. So that's awkward.
And yeah, it has been a little on the awkward side. And I've tried, but like one of the times I just wasn't ready. And the other time it just wasn't
Just
gonna happen.
doesn't click, right? And you know what? I'm with you. At this age, there's no wasting time.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you're not into
if
it,
it's
then
not-
let's
yeah,
just
let's
move
move on.
on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
For so many reasons, including all the gray hairs that I
Yeah,
have.
but,
like,
you know.
I'm not getting any better looking. So I may as well move on. My life still look decent.
I'm glad that things turned out the way they did, obviously. But it would have been very interesting if we would have had things like Match.com and swipe right and swipe left and all that kind of stuff when we were younger. Because I found dating very, very difficult.
Did you? Now, how did you meet Kirsten?
At a bar, Zeno's.
Yeah, I
see?
mean, that's
The whole
how
bar thing.
everybody met everybody back in the day.
Well, so I met Mike though. Like you say, the whole setup thing. Our sorority had one of those set up your sister parties, and I had just gotten off of a year-long relationship with a guy who I was sure was the one, and my heart was broken. So one of my sorority sisters was like, "I have the best guy for you," and she set me up with a guy, very good-looking, nice dude. Neither one of us
Right.
So he was there
Yeah.
for 5 minutes at the party, and then he went on his way to his fraternity, which was no loss to me and no loss to him. But Mike was one of my other sorority sisters' dates, and he and I clicked.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So that's how we met. So
Yeah.
it's.
See, I didn't. Gosh.
Did you know right away when you met her that you liked her?
Yes.
Long
Yes,
pause.
Kirsten. Yes.
Absolutely, I did because I mean we were at Zeno's and I was definitely interested in her, but I didn't initiate it. It was coming off of like I don't know. It's probably I can't remember. It was too long ago, but it was probably, I don't know, I want to say 3 or 4 years of not dating anyone. So I was just very frustrated at the time. And my friends who I hung out with every day were like, they knew it as well. And we were all looking out for each other. And they were like, and I had said something about, she's awesome. And they took the initiative to go there and give her my number and make that whole thing happen. Okay. And then we went on our first date, and the first date was like, okay, 4 hours later, one of us needs to go home.
Right.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was 26.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had just come out, well, not just, it's been a while, but I'd come out of a bad relationship. So it was a long stint in there where I didn't date anybody just because I'd been out of a bad relationship. And it's just really hard for me to approach a girl about a date. That was just very awkward for me. I was that guy. I was like, no, there's no way I could do this.
Right.
I just can't. No.
You know what's so funny that you say that? Because like, I mean, I distinctly remember, and this is more in college, where, you know, you're getting all gussed up to go to the fraternity party or the bar or whatever. And you have this like idea in your head that I'm going to walk in. And remember, we all dressed exactly the same.
Yeah.
We wore
Yeah,
essentially the same outfit, the
Same
same
big hair.
makeup, the same hair. Like we traveled in packs
Yes.
as girls,
Yes.
and we all looked exactly the same. And
true.
yet in your brain, you were going to walk into this room and he was going to see you.
Yeah.
And he was going to say, that's the one. And he was going to approach you and everything was going to be great. Did that ever
No, that
ever
never happened.
happened?
Never.
But you know the story I'm talking about,
Yeah.
the story you told
Okay,
yourself
so
in
it
your
did
head.
happen to me
It did happen to you?
freshman year of college.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Did
and
it
he was a
work
really
out?
great guy. Well, it did. And then he transferred to the Naval Academy, and that was that. And I did, after my breakup of my marriage, look him up just to see if he
Oh,
was
yeah?
somewhere. But he seems to be happily married
Oh,
in New York,
darn.
so that's fine. So
All
I
right.
did not contact him because I am not a homewrecker. But yeah, I mean, I saw him across the room, and
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
That
I'm
never happened to me.
impressed.
I don't think that ever happened to me.
I know
Yeah,
what you're
nah.
talking about,
But-
though. You would like to be able to.
And there's a lot of like, we grew up with all of those John Hughes movies, and that, like, I was in the
Yeah.
car yesterday and I heard the song "The Glory of Love," and I was like, that's what I want. Right.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
a man to love me like that. Because we thought that that's what had to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the John Hughes movies. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did have that freshman year with that guy. But I am also a believer in, like, I pretty much know, like, any of the guys I've dated, I've known the first time I met them that there was a connection.
Oh, interesting. I can't say that I always did. Although,
I didn't.
you know, I will say I was probably a dating snob a little bit back in the day. Not like your credentials kind of snob, but like if I didn't feel something immediately, then I wasn't going to go out with you, which was to my detriment. Like I learned as I got older, and like I was saying, then I started saying yes to whomever. Right? I mean, you get a few toads, but at least you get to know a person before you said, yeah, this isn't gonna work out. But yeah, I think when on my younger days, it could have been simple as, my type. If you weren't my type, then I didn't give you the time of day. But live and learn.
I don't know. I still believe in the
the instant chemistry.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Interesting. That's good.
And I
Keep
don't know
hope
that
alive.
even goes away, right? Like, I had a crush on this guy in high school, and again, he's happily married, and it's fine. But
She looked him up too.
I didn't look up, but he happened to be on Facebook, and I was like, okay, you look very different, but there's still that I don't know. There's a
certain
chemical
chemistry.
thing, for sure. Yeah, but no, I left him alone too because married, which is a problem of being 50 because most people are married, or not for reasons.
It goes back to what I was talking about before we hit record, and I've learned a lot. And at a younger age, I did believe, not even believed, I believed in the labels. It's not that I believed in the labels. It's just what I knew.
Right.
When you were now my girlfriend, you were my girlfriend. And there are things that happen when you are my girlfriend, or
Right.
we are dating now. And there are things that happen. What those things are, I don't know and can't give you examples, but I just know that they're there. It's there. And as I realized later and later, none of that exists.
Just none of it.
Putting extra
none of it
unnecessary
exists.
pressure.
Right. Just let
On
it be
her
what it is.
and
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And it's more of just let it be what it is. And at some point, if something happens that's bad or good, then you deal with it then. But that's not how I thought.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I understand what you're saying there. And that's what my sister's whole take for me for dating at this age is like, just have fun and let it just happen,
Yeah. Just
which is fine. Generally. Except when it's
A little
not.
tweak going on
Except
there.
when it's not.
Seven is not.
But I also like going back to the chemistry. I think chemistry is more than just how you look. Like it's just, there's
Yes.
more.
yeah,
to it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's connection and energy.
Yeah, because if you look at all of the guys that I've had longer term relationships with, none of them look alike. None of them
So you
are
don't have a type.
alike. I don't have like a specific type at all.
Really?
Like I can show you. I mean, with the exception of, they are all high achievers in something, right? Like one of my high school boyfriends was salutatorian of like 700 and went to Duke and like very, very bright. And like they're, the guy in college was like this super great athlete. Like there's a strength there, but they don't look alike. Their interests are very different. Like but they speak to something in me that, and they're all bright.
Yeah, you are attracted to a man who uses his brain.
But muscles aren't bad either. If
If we're going to be honest,
We're totally
Hey, the
honest.
package has to be.
you don't necessarily have to have hair, because I know at 50, most of the guys out there don't all have it, but muscles are nice.
you know, it's funny. I had a friend in college who had a list of things that she wanted in a boyfriend. And if you like very specific things, like couldn't have a hairy chest, or just a whole bunch of stuff, had to be the same religion as her, and but it was a checklist, and like would definitely tell people to go away if he didn't
they
meet
weren't met.
everything.
Did she ever find somebody to?
Well, she did get married later.
wait.
Did
And
he
of
have?
course-
Did he have a shaved chest?
No, he's a hairy man.
Really?
Yes, and so like
So she
broke
like
some
got
of our
rid of
rules.
like number 13, like number
realized.
13 hairy chest.
So it was funny when you said no hair,
Unless-
because it's like, well, some people still have hair. It's just not on the top of
No.
their head.
Well,
Yeah.
most of those people do have hair. What I have learned,
But-
is like when you have when
goes
you're
downwards.
bald, a lot of times you have a very hairy
Yeah.
chest.
But no, but it's just funny because when I first met this guy, because it was long after we'd been in college, and by this time Chris and I were together, so we were in our early 30s. By the time she had gotten married, I mean, I think maybe Chris and I were dating, and I think we went to because he knew her as well from college. And so we went to this wedding, and so that was the first time I actually met him, and I was like, and I had this indelible, the
Remembering the
list in
list.
my head, because I knew, and I was like, oh my God, you're so many things that are not like on her list.
Unbutton your shirt
And
now.
unbutton your shirt. He's a lovely man, like, and they have a kid and they're doing great, but it was just really funny to be like, well,
Did
so
you remind her of her list?
after no, I didn't. I could have, but I think she would have taken it as the
wrong way.
Yeah.
yeah.
So about that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at a young age, I think we make these things up in our mind and we believe in them.
Yeah.
But at some point, we just kind of let them go.
And I do think a lot of it comes from movies. And
For sure.
and
Yeah. And what you-
believing like, and the soulmate or the
Look what the kids are dealing with right now with social media.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
worst.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It just, we dealt with it in movies. They're dealing with it at a younger age in social media. all the time. We dealt with it, a movie every once in a while, and that
Right.
because we didn't have movies all the time, but social media is all the time.
Yeah. And I also think like when we were young girls and you'd see a girl in 17 magazine or whatever, and, she was beautiful or whatever and seemed to have it all. It was just that girl in the magazine. Like she was rare.
Right.
Right.
And she wasn't somebody you knew.
And she
Or-
wasn't
Yeah.
somebody you knew. And with the social media, I think especially, and with filters and
Yeah.
and makeup and all
yeah.
kinds
I
of
was
stuff.
showing Kirsten one of those filters.
Everybody looks
crazy.
Yeah, but
everybody
nobody
looks gorgeous. Like
right,
it looks like
but
and-
they don't look like
Well,
themselves.
there's all these women right now on like TikTok and Instagram and whatnot like that, and the Instagram post is they're laughing at themselves and like they're saying to the audience, you guys, this is crazy. This is not what I look like at all in any way whatsoever. And you're like looking at it going, I don't see anything wrong with this. Like you look perfectly okay. And then they take the filter off and you're like, whoa, you're a different person. Like, wow, that's
Well,
Yeah.
crazy.
and that's like also one of the and I think women do this more than men on Match for sure, or on any of those dating sites. When I've met a man in person, they're like, wow, you really do look like your picture. I'm like,
Oh, really?
because I have pictures up there where I have no makeup on, my hair's in a ponytail, because
Yeah,
that's what you're going
right,
to get.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, you
And
might
that's
as
who
well
I am.
not be like,
So
oh,
why
who's
would I
this?
Yeah, but
fake
that's
it?
not the norm.
It's not, and that's what
Yeah.
they say. Like they're like, there's stories of like people looking horrendously different than what.
Yeah.
And you can tell. Like I can tell when you flip through the pictures. I'm like, this guy says he's 56, and there's no way.
Yeah,
in
and
that
it's like
picture,
35 in that picture.
because he's got his graduation cap and gown on.
right.
I mean, but like, so I think that does happen, and I like try to also like date my pictures so that they know like this picture was taken in 2021, right?
Right.
So that it does look like me, because I don't want you to like think I look some way and then I walk
Right.
in and you're disappointed.
Yeah.
Like I'd much rather you be like, oh, thank God she looks great.
Right, yeah,
than, oh, I don't think that's who I'm here for.
Right. I
Right.
think that I
This
was
is exactly what
meeting
I signed
someone
up
else.
for.
This
Right.
can't be right.
So, under promise, oversell. Like,
There you go.
I don't
Good,
know.
good advice.
So yeah, but I think that does happen because there's so many filters, and you can make yourself look a certain way if you want to. But that's what the young girls, for sure, like we both have teenage girls have to look at. Every day.
And then it seems like it's every girl every day
Yeah.
because they're just normal people
right.
posting stuff. And why don't I look like that? And, it's like, oh God.
Because that's not real.
Yeah.
I have a very good friend who is a photo editor. He used to work for Time magazine and other things. And we had many times we'd go visit him when he lived in New York. He's in LA now. And when we go visit him and in his office, he'll have like, especially of the movie stars, because he does all the movie star photo shoots.
Oh, well, cool.
He has a very cool job. It doesn't pay a lot, but he doesn't care because
Yeah,
it's
'cause
just
it's
a really
fun,
super
yeah.
cool job. And he can get you tickets to pretty much anything, like any show you want to go to, or like,
Is he single?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
But he's been single all along. So there you go. Let's
Hey, I got you.
anyway.
I'm not his type.
But anyway, he would show it, like there'd be pictures on his desk of the movie star, then with all the circles of where they had to touch them up, and then they would have the final picture, and they didn't remotely look
Really?
the same, not
Wow.
even remotely.
And I would hate that as a movie star to have them think that me in real life isn't good enough for them.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
know, yeah,
I think
that's
a lot of
awful.
them have that feeling that they're
Right.
That would be hard.
Yeah, I think that would be a very difficult job to have, in that you aren't ever good enough. Like there's a lot of actresses that will say, like, a director said that such and such, this nose is going to ruin my movie, or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's a terrible comment that was thrown out by a stupid person, but it totally cuts them deep and ruins their entire self-esteem. But yeah, they there were, he'd be like, oh yeah, such and such has terrible acne. We always have to airbrush her pictures and, you know, and then it's like, now he's not one of the people that would insult people, but like when you see his job and what he had to do, it's amazing, you know, but that's just, you know, that's just
sad
the magazines.
that then these teenage girls are comparing themselves to people that aren't even real, and that's
Well, I guess we always did, but
We
I think
always
it's more
did.
in your face now. Like
Yeah.
you really didn't know it unless you picked up a magazine or watched a lot of TV. Now, like they're in your pocket.
yeah,
and it
that's
seems like
true.
it's everybody.
Yes,
Like-
and it seems like it's the girl next door. That's
Right. Like
looks
growing up,
that.
there were those beautiful girls in school for sure, but most people were normal.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
And
Now it
so,
seems like
yeah.
everybody.
Everybody looks gorgeous.
Well, and I think too sometimes just with the curating of the feed, because I know just telling my kids like because it always looks like everyone's having more fun than you. And-
Oh yeah,
yeah, I'm like because they don't post pictures of their studying or
Right.
you don't post a picture of you like looking crappy and saying I'm feeling kind of lonely today. You know,
right.
It's so we like this party and this Instagram.
Right. Well, you want to be envied, not pitied, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
that's what you're going to put out
Yeah,
there.
and I mean I get that because I don't if I was going to post them, I'd post a vacation picture, but not me cleaning up dog crap. But like I
Doing
get
the laundry
it. And I'm
again.
not trying to. Yeah, I was like I could just post a picture of me doing laundry every day. I'm like here I am again.
Cleaning the van.
Yeah, or not cleaning the van. Yeah, just the van.
Actually, it was funny. Chris had to work from home today, and he's like, which I don't, you know me, I like to have my house to myself. And so he was like, oh, so what's on your plate today? And I'm like, it's Thursday. I clean the house on Thursdays. I know you guys never notice, but I clean the house. And I go, and I only clean the house on Thursday because if I clean the house every day, I'd go insane because you people come in and then I start ranting.
then
You people come in and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go clean now.
Right.
Back to the cleaning.
Back to the cleaning. It could set you off.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Somebody in my house keeps like I'll clean off the refrigerator and then I don't know like somebody they always have food all over their hands when they
and they grab the
grab the handle and there's constantly like every day I'm like does you not know like just wash your hands before and dry them off and then like
Who's got the greasy
who has
hands?
I'm like what are you doing to
And greasy's not as bad as sticky.
yeah sticky is
and
the worst like that's
stuff on
my
it.
like my I don't know.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, it's like sticky, or especially because I just remember in high school, like when you'd babysit, you'd like be in a house with strange house with kids, and something was sticky, and you didn't know why. Like so gross, and like even like I'm not a neat freak by any means, but if it's sticky, I might have
bad.
a nervous breakdown. Yeah,
All right. So
don't
now
like
we know.
sticky. Yeah,
Don't like sticky.
That's when she pulls out her serial killer.
that's
Her
right.
song. What was your song again?
Sean Cassidy, not Did You Run Run? Oh, Hey Deanie.
Hey, Dina. Hey, Dina.
Hey Deanie.
There's stickiness in this house.
There's stickiness in this house. I can't take it. I'm gonna snap.
Someone's going to die tonight.
Throwing stars. My underwear
my
throwing
star
stars
underwear.
at you.
Yeah, that's right. Nice underwear packet.
Well, as long as they're not sticky.
As long as they're not sticky.
There's an image for you.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole.
That's
not
a-
us.
That's
after-
ours.
after
That's another
hours.
pile of
Okay,
underwear.
that was a softball. You guys threw that up. You threw it way up. I had to. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Everyone was thinking it.
Everyone's thinking it.
There's that
Just-
one moment.
There's that one moment.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Leslie.
We served that up. No.
She ran with it.
Crack myself up.
Gosh.
Oh, my gosh. And us
other-
as well.
Yeah.
So still into you.
Still into you.
Does anybody have any like ones that got away stories? Like, and I'm not
Well,
saying.
I told you
speak-
the one that I...
Which one was it?
So the guy I met freshman year.
Oh, that one. The one that
Oh, I have one.
you have one.
I have
Do you ever
one.
look him up on Facebook?
No, because I've never actually met him.
Wait a minute. No.
So
How did
I'm
he
not
get
going to
away?
use names. So So when I was in college,
It's going to be a good one.
when I was in college, my parents, and I'm like trying to think of the story without seeing the name, but anyway, they knew they were friends. They had this whole group of friends, and that we moved to a different town. So I didn't know my parents' friends as well, but they were like, "Oh, our friends, these friends, they have this son who's we need to set you up with him." They're like, he's such a nice guy. He's a quiet engineering major. And I was like, oh,
and
quiet.
he likes the song Hey Deanie.
Yeah. I was like, quiet engineering major.
Yeah, not my type.
No.
That was more my type.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't, if that's the best you can do,
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not.
So you turned him down?
So I never met him.
Oh.
But years later, so, I don't know, 6 years out of college, I'm going skiing, and my parents say, "Oh, you need to stop by." So his family owned a construction business, and they were like, "You need to stop by the construction business and borrow their ski passes because they loaned the ski resort their helicopter, and they have like free ski passes for life."
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, sounds good. So I go to the business and to pick up the ski passes, and his name was Tony.
And there he was.
And there he was. And Tony looked like, I don't know, like a movie star. Like,
Tony was
had
handsome.
like turquoise
Hair
eyes
blowing
and
in the wind.
black hair. And he was ruggedly handsome in his Patagonia jacket. And I'm like, and he was married. And I was like,
I could have had you.
yeah. Well, I said to my parents, I was so mad. I was like, quiet engineering major? Quiet engineering major? I'm like, oh, you didn't say like he was like a billionaire and he was movie star handsome and he had like ski passes for life. No, he was a very nice, quiet engineering major. So I was just like,
Okay.
yeah.
he is
So
the
anyway,
one
so I
that got
never,
it.
yeah. So that was, so I never had the opportunity
Okay.
because my parents were terrible marketers.
Yeah. they did the undersell.
They did the
Too much of the undersell. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out for you.
And I could have even, I was like, I don't know, at that age, I didn't notice, like, it didn't dawn on me, like, that the dad was really handsome because I just thought he was an old man. But,
Yeah. Yeah, that could
Like,
have helped.
looking back, if I would have been a little smarter, I'd been like, oh, like, he had really attractive parents. Like, maybe
Good
he's not-
genetics.
But because the quiet engineering major,
You see, that would have worked.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a little
Well,
bit
you
more
could have
to
really made out like a bandit.
but you wouldn't be here.
But I wouldn't be here. No,
So-
and it all worked out for the
Yes.
best. And-
It all worked out.
yeah.
That's a glowing.
Because she's got us. And who knows what Tony's doing now?
Yeah.
It all worked
It worked out for the best.
You just
not
tell yourself that every
billionaire.
night.
Yeah. I'm.
Okay, so I have a little bit more to my story of
Okay.
the guy from freshman year. So he did transfer to the Naval Academy. And the thing about that was I had in high school dated somebody who went to the Air Force Academy, again, smart guys, and had told this guy, whose name was Mike also, I had a thing for Mike's, that before I even knew he was transferring, that I could never date a military person because all this. So then when he left for the Naval Academy, he said, well, this is what you said, so whatever.
Right, we're done.
So he goes on his way. I think about him all summer. I go back to school. I meet this new guy, start dating him, and all of a sudden Mike is back on campus. Naval Academy didn't work out for him, so he came back to campus. But I was already full on into this other relationship. So then he contacts me and he says, well, I'm transferring to University of Pennsylvania, but can I keep in touch with you? And I'm sorry for how things ended. And that was like, that's when I should have dumped the guy I was dating because that didn't turn out.
No.
Yeah, but you didn't.
But I didn't. And then, yeah. And yes,
Woulda, coulda,
I
shoulda.
did look him up and find him.
I can honestly say I don't have one that got away. I mean, like I had lots of boyfriends. I don't mean it like that, but like everyone I look back on dating, I'm like, whew, that was a close one.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I had a few of those. Yeah.
But and this one, like I always kind of had wondered. And then there were guys that I went out on a few dates with that I still kind of wonder about too.
Yeah. See, I'm not on Facebook, so I don't have the luxury of being able to, like, I know people look people up. I don't have that.
Well, this one, so this Mike, he wasn't on Facebook. I finally found him. I mean, there's some deep
There's
searching
investigating going on.
for sure. I found him on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where I've actually found.
You know what? I think more people are. Yes.
So. Yes. Anyway,
That's funny.
So if it doesn't work out with you and your wife, I'm in Virginia.
That's awesome.
Pick up where we left off.
Oh my goodness. So does anyone have like the worst date story? Like worst,
Good
worst
Lord.
date behavior?
Do you have one?
I have one.
Oh, I want to hear.
So it was like in the 90s, and somehow my coworker and I don't know how my coworker and I ended up double dating with these two guys. I don't remember where we met them or why, but anyway, but we did. And we were at like some sports bar, and it was time, like we got the check. And my date, I don't remember his name. I don't remember anything about him, but he kept insisting he only had a check. He was trying to pay with a check at the sports bar, and they were saying, we don't take checks. And he was arguing and throwing a fit. And I'm like, nobody takes checks at a sports bar. So anyway, I ended up having to pay with my credit card, but after we like made a huge scene.
Oh no!
It was very embarrassing, and I'm like, I don't even know this guy.
He probably
Right.
also knew that they don't take checks and had you just
Maybe
pay
that
him.
was it. Maybe a solid big ruse to make me.
So did
pay
you?
for
So
that-
there was
for
no
that.
second date.
No, I don't even remember the guy's name, but I was just like that was an embarrassing scene, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know where he was from or.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've been pretty. I mean, other than being told that they were in love with me, I've been lucky. Like they've all been decent.
My bad relationship ended with her dumping me on Valentine's Day after I took her out for dinner.
That is after the dinner, huh?
Ouch!
After I took her out.
Oh,
After-
that's crappy. That's no good.
I was like,
Yeah. Well, no, that
Was
was
the dinner at least good for you?
I thought so.
How long were you together?
2 years.
And
Oh,
she
that's
dumped you after
lousy.
dinner on Valentine's Day after 2 years.
That's
she's
just insult to injury.
She's just
That's
a bad person.
She was a
yeah.
very bad person.
That is
That's just a bad person.
Yeah.
The bad
no
person
excuse
in
for
the
that.
whole thing was me.
What? Oh,
Why?
of course. Well, according to her.
No,
is
no,
what
no,
he
no, no,
did.
no.
No?
No.
Did you not treat her well, and that's why she dumped you?
No. I treated her like a queen.
No. Well,
She just treated me with nothing. I
yeah,
got
with
Just
disrespect.
I got,
you got nothing.
absolutely
You were the
nothing.
chaser.
And I
Yeah, I know
really
that is.
do mean
Nothing.
nothing in return. Nothing. And it was my fault because I was too dumb to realize it.
Oh, gotcha.
That's your fault.
No, you probably weren't too. Here's how I see it, having been on that end of. You're not too dumb. You're a giving, loving person.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But there also is a point where you need to
I know. Cut bait. And move on.
pull out and realize
Yeah.
what's going on and saying, I'm being taken advantage of
Yep.
a lot. And I don't know why I don't disconnect, but I just don't disconnect.
Because again, you are a loving person.
Right.
And that's like I have said that whether you're my friend or you're somebody who I've loved, like once I decide that I love you, no matter what you do to me, which really sucks for me because as we know, there's been some crappy stuff that's been done to me. I can't just stop. Those reasons why I loved you are still there.
Yes.
And I'm going to, and I want to see the best in people. And I don't want to not see the best in people. You don't want to not see the best in people.
That's why we love you.
As I sit here like, oh, no, I just cut them. I cut.
See, now that lesson took a long time
I can't
to
do
learn.
that though.
Oh, now I can say, you know what? Bye-bye. And I'm done.
I think people are so complex. And like, yes, there's those, but I don't know.
I don't
Well,
know.
my problem was I really liked this girl.
Yeah,
And I just wouldn't I just tried so hard.
Well, and you shouldn't have to. And
Well,
that's
that was it.
like,
It's
it shouldn't
you are
be
bad for me.
that much work.
You are just a horrible person.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's just insult to injury. That's
Well,
just mean. Yeah,
bad
there's no
dates,
excuse.
Okay, you win.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't really have a prize.
Yeah.
But I'll buy you dinner on Valentine's Day.
There you go.
I'll
Buy you
and
dinner on-
Kirsten, so that it's not like weird.
We'll all chip in for your Valentine's Day.
Yeah, now that going forward,
under
it's
the
gonna
bridge.
Valentine's Day is gonna be your day, Erin. You're gonna
Right.
see.
Yeah.
It's my favorite holiday.
That's right. Christine loves
Spread the
Valentine's
love.
Day.
It is my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you do it right. Yeah. I don't know. Christine,
I love it.
she goes all out.
We do. We have
I
our
d-
scavenger hunt, and I hang little hearts all over my kids' doors, and I bring chocolates to my friends, and
That's so, yeah, we're like, just here's the crappy card.
I love it.
I don't even do cards.
Erin's like card.
Card? No, I don't need Valentine's Day to do that.
I don't need it. It's not, that's not
But
one.
it doesn't have to just be about like your spouse. Like I feel like Valentine's Day can be about loving everybody.
That's
Spread
nice.
that love.
That's very
See?
nice.
And I'm the single one.
yeah.
Go figure.
Go figure.
You just have a lot of love to give.
do
Me, on the other hand,
Not so much. Yeah.
not so much.
Very limited with the love.
Very limited. This is it. This is all the love there is.
Oh, Chris, you are a lucky, lucky man.
Yep.
To me, it's sort of like, have I gone anywhere? No, we're good.
Oh my gosh.
Nah.
That's too funny.
No, I wish I would have been of that mindset at a younger age. I do. I really do.
That's youth for you.
No,
right?
it is. There's lessons to be learned. There really is.
What do they say? Youth is wasted on the young, or what? What's the saying?
Something
Youth
like
is
that.
wasted on the young, yeah.
I think that's it.
I'm okay being who I am.
No.
And loving.
Absolutely, 100%. I just know that I would have benefited a lot, not with just that one person, but with a lot of other situations, had I had more of that kind of mindset than I
Yeah.
do now.
I guess. I mean,
I would have grown a lot. Yeah.
It all takes time.
it does. That's what I was just about to say. It's all about the timing.
It's all about timing. Right? And I was thinking about this the other day. There's a good chance we're only halfway through. With people living longer, like 50 isn't the end
Hey,
of
I
your
plan
life
on living
anymore.
to 100.
Right.
And I'm going to still be loving you guys. I'll
be
still
going-
be into you.
I'll be going.
She's still going to be celebrating Valentine's Day.
Hey, my brain's already bad. I'm not going to know who the hell you are.
Okay. Because I'll have pictures. Leslie, this is us.
This person that keeps giving me chocolates. I don't know.
She's
I don't know about
stalking
her. She's stalking me. I
She's
think I
stalking
wish
me
she'd
and
leave
bringing
me
me
alone.
chocolates.
Hanging
But,
hearts on my door
Yeah.
in my nursing home.
But I'll be living right across the hall from you.
I know. Just like that one stalker guy I had.
Right.
Got the apartment across the road. It'll be Christine.
Yeah.
I'm picturing.
All of us in the same hall.
Well, yeah,
No,
we'll
but
be
you
the
know-
same.
Some of the
Same
old
hallway.
I'm sure retirement homes aren't this way anymore. I'm picturing the one my great grandmother was in, where like your room had windows to the hallway, like there were curtains. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I'm picturing Christine in the window, like literally in the window across the hall, like waiting for me to wake up, and I'd be like, "Who the hell is she? Leave me alone!
She leave me alone. She's so friendly, but she's freaking me out.
Drop the chocolates at the door."
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's fine because I have a lot of other doors to drop chocolates off
That's
at.
right.
Because I'm going to be loving all of those people in that old age home.
That's right.
Especially the single men.
That's hilarious.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Now I'm picturing.
I'm glad to know you're still
curly
into me, Christine.
Absolutely. See how we bring it all
Bring it
around.
all back around.
it
Still
all.
into me.
Yeah.
That was a good one. They're all good ones.
They're all good ones.
Oh, you guys make me laugh.
Good stuff.
All right.
Well, on that happy note, this has been the Set List of Life with the former bandmates of Dolly for Sue. We'll catch you guys next week. Good night.
Good night. Later. Bye.